Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy.
Okay, this is Jim Connor, class of 1967, Archbishop Walsh High School. Enjoying a couple of days of reunion with all its classmates. Jim, what are some of the impressions you formed here over the last couple of days?
Well, I think it's a good question. I've been asking everybody else that question. So the main one, I think, is I am amazed at the quality of our class in terms of what they've accomplished and the fact that they have all matured and done something in the world that was in their interest. They're all very interesting people. I mean, in today's world, I meet lots of people who aren't very interesting, and I've been amazed at how much virtually everybody I meet in the class is interesting and alive and doing something, pursuing something in their career or enjoying life. So that's been very insightful. And I also am impressed with how many people have matured in a very positive way and they have some great life experiences to share.
Thank you, Jim, and thanks for putting these videos together for us.
Thank you, Frank, for helping out.
If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, ease my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together.
I'm with Jim Anastasia. What are some of the insights you've had during the past 2 to 3 days here?
Well, it's more than met and exceeded my expectations. I mean, for you, example, I haven't seen you in 50 years. I haven't seen several of the people here in 50 years, but it was just like yesterday that we were together. So the insights that I got in the last 2 days is that it was all real, that there was no pretense, that everybody was a genuine, loving people that we all grew up with. And like I said earlier, I wouldn't trade our experiences in the high school or Walsh for anything. It was great. I think today's kids don't have those connections and experiences from what I've seen where I live in Baltimore and what I've seen here in New York. And it's really too bad, and I think it's up to us to try to get that all together.
Tell us briefly about your scuba diving career. Now, just briefly, what are some of your accomplishments?
I
mean, you gave me a bottle. I really did deeply treasure that bottle. That's great.
Yes, I have probably about 3,000 bottles dating back from the 1700s to 1920s. My scuba experience has mostly been in the St. Lawrence River and Lake Ontario and Oneida Lake, where the diving is a little bit more challenging. But I've dove with the sharks, which is, yeah, I love it. I've dove with the sharks, which is always, it's great experience. And I've dove in Australia. I've dove in Florida a lot, mostly the St. Lawrence River. But it's always about when I was teaching the kids and everybody else to have fun, be safe, you know, go down, but come up. And it's been great.
So good to see you. We'll keep in touch. Thanks for being a part of the show here.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay. Mike Afro, so good to see you. It's been 30 years since we were in high school. Any insights you've had from meeting all your old classmates?
You know, true friendships never die. And when my father passed away in 1971, I decided at that point in my life that I wouldn't befriend or futz around with people that didn't have a meaningful sense and relationship. So one thing I think that our class has had all these years is meaningful connections with each other. And you can, like any good friendship, you can pick up wherever you left off. You know, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. So I've seen people this weekend that I haven't seen in 50 years. But to pick up a conversation with them, and I think having the age and maturity that we have, we're not inhibited by things that we would have been inhibited when we were younger. And I think combining those kind of characteristics with our friendships, the longevity of our knowing each other, and like I said earlier, some of us go back to kindergarten.
That's right.
You know, so it's meaningful, and it's important. You can pick up where you left off, and I sure hope we can keep the relationships going.
Well, thanks so much. Great
Thank
to
you.
see you. And,
Good to see you.
We'll stop this now.
Take care. God bless.
How they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life.
Hi, I'm with Chris Baker, former principal, I believe, and graduate of the class of '67. It's great to see you, Chris. And I thought I'd take a moment and ask you, what are some of the insights you've gained from meeting our fellow students and maybe perspectives you've learned over the past 2 to 3 days?
Well, it's really been remarkable to find out how far so many people have gone, both geographically and in terms of their careers and their families and their interests. And one of the days that we were here, we had lunch with somebody from Arizona, somebody from California, from Austin, Texas, from Florida, from New York, and that was just in a group of a dozen people. So that's been really terrific. That we haven't had a common experience here at Walsh that brings us all back from so far away and so many places. And I think that one of the things that I'm taking home with me is just a sense that we all agree that our experience at Walsh was different from so many other people's experiences of high school because there were so many adults invested in our success and in us as people. Because the sisters and the priests all lived right there on the campus and didn't have families and homes and kids to take care of. We were their kids, and they were interested in us, and they fostered in us a sense of family with one another. So it's more than just getting together with classmates. We're really getting together with a big extended family, and we have a real shared history.
That's great. Now, you've been a long-time educator, right? Principal and,
That's right.
and all that. So why don't you give us a brief overview of that?
Well, I went to college to become an English teacher, and first I was an English teacher for a year or two, and then I got a graduate degree in library science. I was a school librarian for 20 years. I loved it. I worked at the middle school and high school levels in Wellsville, New York, and in Rochester, New York, and then I went back to school and got a second master's degree in administration and became a school principal, and I absolutely loved my career. And again, I trace a lot of my interests back to my experiences in high school. One of the things that I left school knowing was that I wanted a real education. I wanted to know everything about everything. I had a curiosity that I think was fostered at Walsh, and I wanted to do something that would make a difference in the world. And being in teaching, was a really good fit for me.
Chris, I want to thank you for stopping by. This has been great seeing you. I think we're going to try to have a reunion in 2 more years. Why wait for 5 or 10? So
That's right.
Thanks so much.
Well, I can't wait.
When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you, and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy.
Crawford, good to see you. It's been a long time.
Good to see you, Jim.
What's your experience been like during these past 2 or 3 days here?
I am overwhelmed at the people that have
With what?
I'm overwhelmed at the people that have come. It's one of the best experiences I've had in a long time. And a lot of people have changed physically, but mentally, we're all back into the old Walsh spirit, which really tickles me pink. And I just love to see everybody. Everybody loves to see each other. I mean, you have a real a program of friendship, love, and respect.
Yeah, good. Are you living in Texas? Is that right?
Yes, I'm still in Texas. Been there 37 years. I hope to be there another 37 years.
We were talking a little earlier. I just have to say this: you are as close as it gets to being a real Texan without being born there.
Right, right. And I don't think I'll ever become a real Texan, but as close as I can get, I'm going to try it for.
Very good. Great. Well, Mike, good seeing you.
Jim, good to see you. Thank you very much.
Together.
Great to see you at our 50th reunion. Tell us a bit about what you're doing today in Austin, Texas.
Well, today I'm happy to report that the master plan is coming together. I'm retired. We live near our children. We see them regularly. And we've been looking forward to this reunion for some time. We're just so privileged, really, to be here. The investment that our communities make in education, we really don't appreciate them when we're going through the experience. But with 50 years retrospect, it's easy to see the power of education because of the places that our educations have brought us today. I related the story of how my very first airplane trip was in my senior year at Walsh, all the way to New York City. The entire time I was on the plane, I had no confidence that I would ever fly on a plane again. This was a special treat. I told the story to the school president as well that I forgot to say earlier, was that we regularly hitchhiked between Salamanca and Olean, and he was amazed because no kid would ever do that today. So where we got that confidence from, I'm not sure. But I know that in the days after Walsh, the places that I've been in the United States, the experiences that I've had, the people that I've met, a lot of the credit goes to my time at Walsh.
You're living in Austin today, correct?
We live in Austin. We've been there 17 years. We love it, but we love getting back to Western New York as well, especially in the summer. Thanks, Jim.
Mary Ellen Ganjamin, so good to see you.
So good to see you too, Jim.
And I wanted to take a moment and ask you thank you for organizing or being a key organizer of the event, the Walsh reunion. And secondly, ask you, based on your experience here in the last 3 days, have you gained any insights or perspectives?
Well, you know something? I learned I really love you people. There's a certain kind of camaraderie that I feel that we have had throughout the years. And whether we see each other in a year or every day or talk to each other every once in a while, there's a certain connection between us, and I think we're a rare breed as far as humans go. And I really had a great time. I am so glad I was a part of this. I'm so glad that you came, and I'm so glad I met your wife too.
I'm glad I came too. It's great.
And everyone's been so lovely and so kind and everything like that. But I really enjoyed myself.
Now, you've had a career in education, correct?
Yes.
And you were in Wisconsin, is that right?
I lived in LA and Wisconsin.
Oh, Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you were a teacher or educator?
I was a teacher in Los Angeles at a private school.
Really?
By MacArthur Park,
Oh, really?
off of Wilshire.
Beautiful area.
Yeah, not safe, but beautiful.
Yeah, and then Wisconsin.
And then I was a principal in a small Catholic school for 3 years in Wisconsin.
Okay, very good. So there are a lot of talk about having a follow-up reunion in 2 years when most people are 70 or close to 70. Is that something?
That's something I would love to do, yes. We are planning on doing and getting together instead of waiting so long, 10 years, get together in 2 years when we're all celebrating our either 70th birthday or soon to be 70th
Yeah,
birthday.
soon to be 70.
Yeah.
Marianne, thanks so much. It's been great to see you and hear you, and put you on camera here and hear your comments. So I look forward to keeping in touch and seeing you in 2 years.
Thank you, Tim. It was so nice of you to do all this for us.
Would you like to ride in my beautiful balloon? Would you like to ride in my beautiful balloon? We could float among the stars together.
I'm with Kathy Keller-Sachenko here, class of 67 from Walsh. Kathy, it's been great to see you. Really.
It's great to see everybody.
Everybody. So what's the experience been like the past 2 to 3 days here?
Oh, it's just been, I'm exhausted.
Exhausted. Yeah, it's late.
and to see everybody and hear everybody's stories and to see the smiles on everybody's faces. And it's just been really, we're all really very close.
Yeah.
And even though it's so weird not to see somebody, Jerry, I haven't seen you in 50 years. And you know what? It's like it was yesterday.
Yeah, we could do a Chinese fire drill if we really wanted to.
I think we should plan that for the 70th birthdays.
Yeah.
We really should. It would be such a blast.
It was such a blast. Good. So what have you been doing in the last 30, 40 years, we'll say?
I spent 40 years teaching.
Teaching? Teaching what?
I taught a lot of different grades. I taught kindergarten, pre-first, 4th grade, 3rd grade.
Lots of grades.
Yeah.
Okay.
2nd grade, actually, too.
In what area were you living when you did that?
Well, most of the time, my first 6 years of teaching, I was living in Rochester. And then my husband and I were doing this whole hippie thing, and we decided to buy some land out in Pittsburgh, and we did. We built our own house, and we moved out there. We quit our jobs, moved out there, and eventually I got a job teaching out there. After I realized I wasn't really going to be able to live off the land.
Yeah. Did you really how long did it take to figure out that it would work or not work?
It took 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
And that included planning things or trying to...
Well, first of all, my husband tried being self-employed. He decided, no, I guess I'm just not aggressive enough to do that.
Okay.
And I thought I wanted to change careers, but in the meantime we were starving. And I had a son right off the bat. And then I said, really, maybe I better try to substitute. So I substituted. Oh my God, our driveway is a quarter mile long, and it was the year where the snow was the deepest it's been since I've lived there. And so I'd trek out there totally pregnant and get out to the end, and I have to take all my clothes off because I'd have to and I'd get there, and I'd start having Braxton Hicks contractions, and then I started teaching, and for some reason I was really loving it and saying, why did I think I didn't want to do it? And so I just got a job pretty soon, and I never looked back.
Yeah.
Loved every minute of it.
Well, corrections are always important to have.
Yeah, I'm glad I did it. You need to find those things out.
You need to find out if it works, and if it doesn't work, go do what does work.
Absolutely.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a follow-up in 2 years. That's what people are talking about. So I just want to thank you for stopping by here, having a comment, and I've just had a great time, and it's been the best.
It has been for all of us.
Thanks so much.
All right. Love you.
I'm with Mark Kaczynski here. It's been a long time. I haven't seen you in 50 years. Great to reconnect, and you've been here for the last 2 to 3 days at the Walsh reunion for 50
That's right.
years up.
That's right.
What are some of the experiences and insights you've gained from being back here?
I think the most most interesting insight is that the women in our class continue to look beautiful. Amazing women in our class. The guys, on the other hand, I said, we're kind of washed up old coots at this point. 68 years, 67, about 68 is what most of us are now. So it's the washed up old coot era versus the pretty good looking chicks out there. No, the females in our class were terrific women. And they are even better now than they were then.
That's good. So, you married, Mark?
I am married. Happily married. My wife isn't here, though, by the way.
You were making a pitch.
No, I thought of it, but no. My wife is, she's in West Hartford, Connecticut, where we live.
Okay, so you're talking about how great the women are here, and your wife's not here. But
women are terrific. They really are. I enjoyed visiting them. Well, you got to remember, Walsh High was a segregated society. For the most part, we didn't get to know women. We studied alone, we studied with the priests, and we studied together as men. And the guys in our class have an incredible bond, and that'll always be there. So I don't want to make light of that. That's really something special. But the thing that I have the most insight to is the women, I think, from this recent visit. They're extraordinary people. Okay. And I wish I would have known them better when we were together in high school.
So now you're not president of the community college, correct?
Not a president. I'm a academic dean, chief academic officer. Yes.
All right, very good. And that keeps you busy full time, right?
It does. I was telling someone I work generally about 12 hours a day. I arrive on campus at 8 o'clock and I get home about 8 o'clock at night. I live at a 40-mile distance. I work in New Haven, Connecticut.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, that is wonderful to hear, and great to see you so alert and so aware of all the Walsh women. So I want to congratulate you on that, and I really enjoyed reconnecting to you. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much for this time to talk with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Keep the moon beside us. Love is waiting there in my beautiful balloon. Way up in the air in my beautiful.
We're here with Thomas Miller, one of my classmates from the Walsh High School. We're at the 50th reunion. Tom, so good to see you, and thanks for that ticket to the museum.
You're welcome.
So it's really remarkable. We've been seeing so many people we haven't seen in literally 50 years. What are some of the insights and experiences you've had at this reunion?
Well, it was just really nice to see everybody, but some of the people that you always kind of thought were kind of jerks at one time have turned into some really nice people.
Did they really? I thought you were going to say the jerks in or the jerks.
No, really, they, people have matured and
so they grew up and now they're nice people.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's a few. I mean, most of them were pretty nice, and I had kind of the same feelings that I had when I was a senior. And by the end of senior year, I had a lot of love for everybody in the class, really, too. It was a few of them I didn't know very well, but I've actually I'd gotten to know some of them more that I didn't know then this weekend than I ever did even in school. So it took me 7 years to get out of the law.
Why was that? Did you take a break or something?
I went to St. Bonaventure University and got a call one day from Father Richard and said that Dominic can't work anymore. Would you and Fred like to take the job? So we took the job and we took care of the physical plant of the building, and we actually made some modifications and improvements to it too. And so I did that for 2 years, and then after I got out of school, I actually taught at Walsh for a year too.
So you were
that was 7 years.
7 years, student, contributor, and teacher. Employee and teacher. Sounds good. Well, great to see you. Thanks so much for your time, and I hope you keep in contact. Hold on, just wait. So good to see you after 50 years. It has been 50 years for you and me. And we're here back at the high school reunion, the reunion of the Walsh Class 67. What are some of the insights and experiences you've had over the past 2 to 3 days?
It's just so hard to explain. It's meant so much to me. I've met so many friends that I grew up with, like you, Bob Scripter. I mean, we were a threesome. We did a lot together. Yeah, right. I mean, and I was so looking forward to it, and I called up and asked if I could do the memorial board. And you know, it's just something I wanted to do. That's how much I love this class, and it was just so great to be able to come here. And like I say, it's been 50 years since I've seen some of them, and the turnout was just unbelievable, man. And
it's been the greatest to me.
And it brought back a lot of memories of what you and me and you know all we did, and you know the crazy times at Walsh High. And I mean, I just I'm ready for the 70th. If we're going to do a 70th birthday, I'm going to be here.
Where are you living these days?
I'm down in Sumter, South Carolina. I did a total of 39 and a half years with the United States Air Force. I did 24 years active duty, and then after I received my bachelor's degree from St. Leo's College, I was offered a job back at the base as a civilian, and I put in 15 and a half more years. And I mean, I've been blessed, not only with good friends and everything, but a great family. I'm a father of 5, and I just...
Your wife is quite a character.
Oh, my wife, yeah, Tina, she is. I think a lot of people think she might be a member of the class of '67.
She's right in there.
I'm telling you. No, once you meet Tina, you'll never forget her. And
we're good. We'll have to get together for the 70th birthday of everybody.
Oh yeah, and I'll be there. Believe me.
Okay.
I believe me, and I love you, all you guys.
Good.
Thank you,
Bruce. Thanks so much. Okay, Mary Patron, 30 years, 50 years since Walsh. Give us a little insights, if you would, about what you're feeling being back here at the Walsh 50th reunion.
I love coming back to our class reunions. I think we had such a special class, personality, a lot of humor, a lot of ingenuity, creativeness. People were nice to each other and kind to each other, thoughtful, and everything always felt that. So I love coming back and catching up with people. I can be talking to people like it was 5 minutes ago.
That's right. Now you're in Irvine, California, correct?
Irvine, California.
What's the short story of what took you to Irvine, California?
14 years ago, I was working for a manufacturing company in Buffalo, and they transferred me to Irvine to run their seismic program. We built seismic structures and bridges. And then in February, they called me and said, "Could you come back?" And I said, "Nah, I don't think so." I jokingly said, "You're asking me to come back in February just to prove I love you or something?" So I stayed and actually went to work for Boeing. And basically stayed for about 13 years ago doing programming, technology development programming. I used to retire and signed up as a consultant, so I'll still do some work. But I want to do some traveling and hanging out and visiting friends and family and some fun.
That's great. It's been delightful to see you. I've enjoyed reconnecting, and we're going to put you on a little video here about the class of '67 reunion.
Fabulous, and I look forward to coming up and visiting.
Please do. I'm with Louise Rogers Madison, class of '67, who I haven't seen in many years. I don't know if it's 50, probably a few less. Great to see you. How has this reunion been for you?
It's been wonderful. Getting together with everybody and enjoying listening to everybody, what they're doing now. I've got a lot of insight seeing people I haven't seen in years.
And But you're living in the area, correct?
Yes, in Wellsville.
So you have a lot of contact with people around here who are in there.
A few of them, yes, I see
Okay.
on occasion, yes.
Right. And have you gone to all the past reunions?
Yes.
Every 5 years, are they?
No, well, whenever our classes, a few get together.
Anybody that surprised you in this visit?
The surprise, Patsy Fitzmaurice, Chris Howden. Yeah. A lot of the guys I didn't recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pat Southworth.
Oh, yeah. Pat
Didn't
Southworth.
recognize, yes.
You didn't recognize Pat?
No.
Yeah.
Or Frank Spencer.
Frank Spencer.
Oh my gosh, Frank Spencer was a shock.
He was a shock.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. And you were part of the planning committee on this, right?
Yeah, well, I did the Friday night. I did the party. I'm a party person. The other people plan. I'm the party.
You're the party doer or the party planner?
The planner. I love parties. I
Okay,
love to
great,
do that
great,
stuff.
great.
So I did that for Friday night.
And what have you been up to in the last umpteen years? Have you?
Well, I was a teacher for 33 years.
Oh, you were?
I taught high school.
What
business.
subject?
Business.
Business? And did you retire then? Or did
Yes, I retired, but I still do in the Catholic school. I still work there a little bit.
Teaching or being a volunteer or which way?
Teaching, maybe subbing, and working in the office.
Yeah. That schools always can use assistance,
Yes.
right? Good.
Yeah, especially in the Catholic school.
Yeah, especially.
But I worked in the public. I couldn't accept the pay. I couldn't live on the pay they teach them for pay people in the Catholic school.
I see.
Yes.
Any other thoughts about getting together in 2 years?
Oh yes, we're going to start working on
We're gonna
that.
start
2
working on
years
it.
when we're 70. When we do party, I won't be 70 because my birthday's in November.
You're a very young woman. I
Yes,
know that.
in November I'll turn 70. So I'll still be in my 60s.
Okay. Rocking and rolling in the 60s.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Louise, delightful to see you. Really enjoyed this whole time. It's been a ball.
And thank you for doing all this.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Groovy on a Sunday afternoon.
Okay, Rob Swift has been. What's the experience been like for you here at the Walsh reunion?
It was a lot of fun. We got to see people that we hadn't seen in a long time, but everybody seems to have the same thing that it's like after a few minutes, it's like you'd never left. It's pretty fun.
There's going to be a follow-up, I believe, in 2 years of what people are talking about.
With 70-year-old,
Yeah.
70, yeah, so that'd be fun.
And did you do anything else while you were here? Did you visit other people, or were you mainly at the reunion?
I saw Bill Welch a little bit. I spent one night with him, and I was here mainly for a family reunion prior to seeing a bunch of old relatives and stuff. I hadn't seen it again in a long period of time. Drove by our old house.
That's right.
We used to be next door neighbors.
Yeah. I know the house I was in got painted. Totally different color.
Yeah, ours is too. Our old house is different color.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They have a fence out there, now different, all kinds of things, a little different.
Yeah. Well, great. Anything else you want to add to this message-wise to the rest of the class?
No, I think I'm good. I enjoyed seeing everybody and looking forward to doing it again. A lot sooner, though.
A lot sooner. I know. It's been a long time between events. So.
Yep.
Thanks so much for your time.
Okay.
Look forward to keeping touch.
All right.
1 second.
Couldn't get away too soon. I can't imagine anything that's better. The world is ours whenever we're together. There ain't a place I like to be instead of moving.
John Shine. It's been a long time, 50 years since I've seen you.
Oh, I've seen you since 50 years, haven't I? Have not? Okay, I guess not.
What's some of the experiences and insights you've had over the past 2 to 3 days? Seeing people?
That's a very deep question, and I'm not sure that I've had any deep insights or experiences.
Just a good time?
I think that every time you talk to someone after about 6 or 7 seconds or minutes, depending on who it is, you're right back to where you were 50 years ago.
That's a deep insight.
Is that a deep insight?
I think it qualifies.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing is a lot of quality people in this class.
I think all of them are.
I would
Well, we've known each other since we were in kindergarten.
Oh, that's right. All those years. Yeah. That goes back to especially if you went to kindergarten, first grade, grade school, and
all the way through.
All the way through.
All the way through.
And have you guys, been best buddies, or you have been competitors?
No, just friends.
Just friends.
Yeah.
No competition.
Not that I'm aware of.
And so, you retired now? You're living a good life?
I'm not retired, but I am living a good life.
You're living a good life,
Yes.
but you're not retired, huh?
No.
I got to tell you,
Plastics. I sell plastics.
Okay.
Plastic packaging, actually.
You made a couple,
shrink wrap.
Okay, you made a couple statements on Friday night that reminded me your sense of humor is exactly what it was 50 years ago.
That's because I haven't grown at all.
I think the audience will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Well, great. John, it's been good to see you.
It's been good. I'm happy to see you, Jim, because I have fond memories of you.
Good, and in 2 years, we might same with you, and 2 years we hope to reconnect.
Yes,
all right.
good.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Give me a second.
Crowded avenue, anything we like to do. There's always lots of things that we can see. We can be.
Pat Southwood. Been 50 years since I've seen you. I think not quite 50. We've seen each other before.
Pretty close.
Yeah. So you're part of the class of 67 back for the 50th reunion.
Yep.
What are some of the impressions and insights you've had from the past 2 days?
Well, that we really did have a wonderful group of people that we grew up with. It's amazing, and it goes back much longer than 50 years, as you know, that some of the people were showing pictures that date back to St. Mary's grade school, 60, 65 years, just about, at this
You were
point.
there in the same grade school, right?
Yeah, same grade school. Makes an event like this fantastic because you realize just how much you value the friendships, even though you haven't really seen people for that long of a time.
Good. So now you're living in New Mexico, right?
Yeah, in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Totally different.
Spent years as a banker.
Yeah.
And then you're in healthcare.
Yeah, 40 years as a banker, but always at small banks that I loved the interpersonal relationships. Never could stand the big banks and looked for a career that I could continue to do after I quasi-retired. And home care nursing is what I decided to do, and allows me to be engaged with people, and hopefully until I can't do it anymore, that's what I'll do.
Good. And now you're also a runner, correct?
Yep, still, well, I was a runner when I was a kid.
But I was running away from people, wasn't it?
Yeah, sometimes. That's true. It's funny that guy that was a year behind us, Gary Phil Jones, his father was Pickett's Phil Jones, the cop in town, and had a couple incidences with him that I wish I was running a little bit faster in the process.
I see. A couple things like that. Great. So you're going to stay around a couple more days, visit family?
No family left
Right.
here.
You're going back to New York.
Yeah, going back to New York to get my wife, who's visiting her sister, and then we're heading back to New Mexico mid next week.
And you're in Santa Fe, correct?
Santa Fe, lovely little town. Not so little anymore. Grew up a little bit too much at times, but great place to live, fantastic place to enjoy life at.
Pat, great to see you. I hope we all reconnect in 2 years, and thanks so much for stopping by.
Oh, it was wonderful to be here.
Thank you.
Happy people, we could meet just moving on a Sunday afternoon. Really couldn't get away too soon. No, 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 no.
What insights, what experiences have you had over the past 2 days?
Well, I always like to make my way through a story, bit by bit. But our reunion is like, I got to read the first chapter, and all of a sudden I'm at the last chapter, and I've got to find out what happened in between. And the stories that people have told about their lives and where they've been and what they've done and how they've taken their Walsh experiences into their lives is fascinating. It's amazing the variety of experiences we've had at Walsh and beyond. And
you were an English major, and then you tell us a little bit about that experience of how you pursued and became an English teacher.
Well, yes, I actually was in the yearbook. It says I planned to be a math teacher, so I did the teacher part, but it turned out math was more of a challenge for me at the college level than it was at high school, so I quickly switched over to the English department once I realized that. And just went in the service afterwards, and after college, got out and said, yeah, I'll go to grad school on the GI Bill. And then one of my professors said, you know, you really should get a job and work, and be a teacher. And so I said, oh yeah, you're right. So I started at a local high school. I was there for 33 years teaching English and reading, which was my specialty, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think a lot of what I did in my own classroom stemmed from the experiences I had at Walsh.
Really?
You know, and I could empathize with the kids facing the challenge every day of trying to fit in and make sense of it all. And I tried to help them break it down and take it in small, manageable steps that they could see progress. And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay. So where are you living now? What letter grade?
Okay. Tucson, Arizona. That's where I spent my career. And we'll be there forever, I suppose.
Okay. Frank, thanks so much. Sorry the light went out on us, and I look forward to seeing you in 2 years and keeping in touch.
I hope so.
Thanks.
We'll keep on spending sunny days this way. We're gonna
Tell us a little about what you're doing these days.
Well, I live in Allegany, New York, which is not too far from our alma mater. I lived in New York City for 32 years, and I moved back here about 12 years ago with my 2 children, and I work at St. Bonaventure, and retirement does not seem to be in my future, unfortunately, till we get those girls through school.
What did you do in New York City?
I worked first in the cosmetic industry for Elizabeth Arden, Estee Lauder, Halston Fragrances, Olean, Paris. And then I did a complete 180 and worked for a nonprofit called the Jewish Guild for the Blind. I was the Director of General Services for 18 years.
Wow, very good. Excellent.
Yeah, okay.
And last question is, how has this reunion been for you?
Oh, absolutely phenomenal. I can't believe the number of people that actually were able to make it and wanted to make it. It's especially poignant because I see my 2 daughters who have recently graduated from high school, and they don't have that. They don't have that camaraderie. They have that no desire to be affiliated with a group, and I feel sorry for them. I think we had something very special. And I think it all came from those Friday night dances, which they don't seem to have anymore anywhere. So,
Great.
Anyway.
Well, thanks so much. I'm just going to stop this now. And
You're welcome.
Hold on.
We're gonna talk and laugh our time away. I feel it coming closer day by day. Life will be ecstasy, you and me endlessly.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Jim.
Walsh High School reunion, 50 years.
Yes.
What are some impressions you've had over the last few days meeting so many people after so many years?
Well, I have to say that I feel a little bit embarrassed that I didn't recognize some people. But
That's going to happen.
and thank God for name tags.
Thank God for name tags.
Yes. So, but I'm very happy that we've got such a good turnout.
But I see all these email names on Facebook, and I don't recognize the women's last name because they should put their original maiden name, family name in
That would be
there.
helpful, wouldn't it?
That would help,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Anyhow, we've had a great time.
Oh, good.
And
I've had a great time.
And I've just been amazed by the connections, the reconnections I've been able to make with people in just 50 years, and all of a sudden you can have a great conversation.
Right. Well, we with Marcia Kaspersky Stair, and our little teeny tiny committee, I think we had a good time doing that. Good time going through all those lists, and a little bit of a struggle trying to find people, but we were lucky that we found a lot of people, and we got a turnout that we are amazed at. So
very good. Nice of you to throw the party here at this house. This is the Saturday night party after
the Saturday night, the afterglow.
Afterglow, right. So very good.
I'm really glad people could come.
Yeah, it's wonderful you to do this. So I just hope we all stay in touch and we get together maybe another 2 years or so.
Somebody said something about a 70th birthday party. I thought that would be fun.
That would be a great idea. I agree.
So yeah. So all right, Jimmy.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right.
We'll keep on spending sunny days this way. We're gonna talk and laugh our time away.